was out there in the night sky, stared up at the stars in the hopes of seeing something out of the ordinary? Have you heard unexplainable noises coming from a vacant room, or watched a shadow cross the wall in front of you? Have you asked yourself if there is life after this one, or if you had life before? What about strange creatures that are mythical and elusive? Have you experienced deja vu or felt a prompting to leave because you felt you were in danger? If you have, you were on the fringe.
Welcome to another episode of On the Fringe. I'm Mark.
I'm Pam.
And I'm Jess.
And together we're the Wonder Triplets.
Put the rings in.
We're not lame.
No, not at all. I mean, I am both physically and mentally, but you know, you two aren't.
Good try.
Unless I drag you down. I'm
Speaking for myself, of course. Good try.
Oh my goodness. Well, tonight we have another interesting show. We're going to talk about RockWall, Texas, and the supposed artificial wall that they found 150 years ago, I believe, is when they found that. And we're going to talk about other megastructures and sites around the United States and possibly abroad, depending on how much time we have.
What broad? What chick are we talking about?
All right, I deserve
that remark.
I mean, hey, I've got a joke for you.
Uh-oh.
It's probably going to get me banned from YouTube.
Oh no.
Ooh, should be good then.
Yep. So
Make it a good one.
What do you call a dog with no legs?
What?
What do you call a dog with no legs? It doesn't matter. He's not going to come anyway.
Oh no. Gah.
Yeah, it might get me banned from. It might get me banned from the planet. I don't know. If there's a bad dad joke, I'm gonna tell it. I mean, it's. Hey, that could be a new podcast.
It's like a little
Dad jokes with
indigestion.
Mark. Dad jokes with Mark is a new podcast.
Dad jokes with Mark. That might be either your opening or your close. The last thing. Okay, what bad joke do you have for us now, Mark?
Hey, no, that's not a bad idea. It'd be kind of like the Notebook game, only it's bad jokes with Mark. I like it. You're a genius.
She is.
She is.
I've been saying that for years.
Oh, y'all are crazy.
All right, so let's talk a little about RockWall, Texas. So, let's see. When was this discovered?
1852.
1852. Yeah, and a lot of work was done in the early 1900s. The consensus is that this is a natural ancient sandstone dike. It's man-made prehistoric, not a man-made prehistoric structure. Although there is some weird evidence. In 1999, an excavation revealed metal rings. Although they think that they just showed up there. They weren't part of the wall. I mean, sandstone can do weird things. I mean, we've all seen sandstone fracture and, you know, it does weird things with water and whatnot. But it just really looks like a wall.
It's huge, though. Did you see how huge it is?
Yeah.
Is it at 7 stories tall and 20 miles long? Holy cannoli.
So let me see if I can pull up a picture.
Yeah, so like 2 farmers were digging a well when they found this thing. Could you imagine the percentages it would to actually have gone right on top of this thing?
Yeah. Let me see which one. I believe that this is the. All
While
right.
you're pulling that up, Enzo had the perfect name for it. It's the joke book game.
The joke book
Huh?
game.
The joke book game.
All right. I pulled up the wrong thing here because I'm a dork.
The interesting thing I thought about the Texas rock wall is, so like, you've got two factions. You've got the side that says that this was a man-made wall and that it must have been the giants, which neither of the three of us can say anything against, because we know that there's a lot of proof that giants did exist.
Mhm.
However, so I kept finding people who had made this point, and I was like, I don't know why they didn't do this either. You've got the other side that's saying this is completely natural, and this is part of the actual sediment of the earth, and this is just, it was covered up with dirt years ago, completely natural. But they kept saying, why haven't they dug on the other side of the wall to see how thick it is and what's on the other
point.
side?
I mean, yeah. I mean, if it is a natural formation, if you dig on the other side, it should be more of this.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Or it should be, like in different thicknesses as it goes, and but no one's, I guess, ever thought of that, or they decided they didn't want to test fate
They're like,
and see.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, oh, let's just leave that one alone.
Yeah, I mean, what's the fun in that?
Mm.
If you got an excavator, why not excavate?
What is the name of that dude that used to have the series of like mysterious things in the U.S.?
Oh,
What is that idiot's name?
Unearthed? Is that what it was called?
Yeah, on Unearthed. So they did do a really good show on the Texas rock wall. If y'all are interested and want to go watch it, I take what he says with a grain of salt, because I think he has a tendency to kind of want to like lean into the mystery of it too much without like really leaning on the facts so much. So, but the history of it's there, and they had, I watched a little bit of it. They had some really good stuff, newspaper articles and things from like back in the day when they were really kind of digging it up and discovering it. So if you're interested in it, there's some fantastic photos and stuff like that.
Yeah, there really is.
America Unearthed. That's what it was called. Scott Walter.
Scott Walter, yeah.
Yeah. Wolter.
Not my favorite guy, but
He gets a little excited.
He does. I think he leans into the mystery of it too much, and he takes you on a road that may not be as truthful or honest as it could be.
I would agree with that. He does cover some really cool places.
He does.
And you do get to see some really cool stuff. You just
I mean, the show's fun, but yeah, I agree. Sometimes they do kind of sensationalize, because I'm not saying that it's a man-made wall. I'm not saying that it's a natural geological formation. I just say I would like to see a little more digging.
Yeah.
I mean, because
it's interesting to talk about, that would be a fun one to get a geologist to give the geology side of it on,
Yeah, I wish I knew a geologist. Wait, don't we know a geologist?
We do know a geologist.
We do know a geologist. I think that sounds like a fine plan.
He is very not woo-woo, so he would poo-poo any remote, anything remotely woo-woo. He would be like, yeah.
When you look into it, the geologists are the ones that's leading the charge on some of this ancient structure stuff.
Some of the geologists are also the ones that's putting the kibosh on it too.
Yeah, I know, but if you look into this, some of these geologists are going like, no, I'm pretty sure that this is this old, not what you're saying.
Yep.
And so, I mean, there is some disagreement, but then again, where's the money coming from?
Yeah, good point.
When you get into science, this is something that's bugging the hell out of me recently. when you get into science, there is a lot of pushback against people trying to change the timeline because it screws up people's grants. It messes up with religious stuff, and a lot of people just are going to drag their heels on it because they don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
No, it can't be right. That's not what I was taught.
Yep.
Yep.
So, but I
Scientific
find it,
egos.
well, yeah, but I find it interesting that there is more and more actual scientists coming out and saying, I'm not going to say it is or it isn't, or say no. I'm really thinking that this is this old.
There's a lot
Well-
of things that are popping up, especially around Egypt right now, that are kind of disproving the timelines that are currently accepted.
Right.
Which is interesting. So
I think it's because we have so many younger archaeologists and scientists and stuff coming up and a lot of the older ones are passing and retiring.
Yeah, they're not worried about their grant money anymore.
Yeah.
So
And, the younger younger people coming up, they have a little bit of a wider outlook. They have not been put in people's pockets yet either.
right.
yeah.
So these LiDAR scans of the Sahara that I've been reading about, not to get too far off topic, but you can see the river basins and the lakes and the settlements below the sand.
Yep.
And I don't know what all's about it, but the mummies that they have found that have human DNA, but they're not related to any known group of humans in existence.
Yes.
So,
And they're finding petroglyphs
and petroglyphs.
that are not known to be Egyptian, but the Egyptians, they did say that they were not the first. I can't remember how it was worded, but they
Yeah.
were not the first. And
Yeah, Herodotus recorded it that the Egyptians themselves said that they built their society on one that had been before.
Mhm. Yep.
Well, even the Sphinx shows water damage
Yes.
after it was made, and we haven't had that kind of rain in that region to cause that for like 12,000 years.
Mhm.
So
For a really long time.
the face on the Sphinx is much newer looking than the rest of it. So
Yeah, anybody who's looked at that from the top down knows that that's not the original head.
yeah,
On
it's
that.
been
Somebody-
carved
It's what's-
down.
It's been carved down and
Yes.
carved down and
Our
carved
Probably
down.
favorite
several
came
times.
along and
It's
was
got-
like,
It's got like this big old body and this little teeny tiny head. He reminds me of the dude on Beetlejuice after he got his
Yeah,
head shrunk.
yeah.
that's
So-
perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I really want to use this platform that we have. We talk fringy stuff on the show. We've talked all kinds of crazy fringe theories. We've talked ghosts. We've talked Bigfoot. We've talked UFOs. All the usual fringy stuff. I really enjoy talking about the fringe archaeology stuff. And it excites me that a lot of it is becoming a lot less fringy.
Mhm. It's kind of cool.
It is pretty cool. So we're probably going to lean into that a bit this year. We're still going to talk about the kooky stuff, the vampires and the werewolves and whatnot. But I mean, I'm really digging a lot of this stuff that's coming out right now. Like you said, a lot of interesting stuff coming out of Egypt.
Mhm.
There's now proof that humans, as we know them, have been around a lot longer than they have estimated previously. that they have actually admitted that. Uh, and we'll probably cover this in a show. They have found evidence of wooden structures made like a log cabin. I believe they said that the remains of it were 300,000 years old, where they were notched out and stacked like we would stack a cabin today. While a lot of people would say, well, that's pretty primitive. It is pretty primitive to us now, but it's not really all that primitive when you get down to it. You know, you're not notching that out with stone tools. That takes some work.
Yes, it
and
does.
planning. So I really do enjoy looking into some of this stuff. And we're not going to talk just about RockWall, Texas. It is really interesting. It's kind of what got me going down this line of mega structures and stuff in the United States. Is it a man-made structure? I mean, there's claims that they've found evidence of windows and doorways in this wall. I haven't seen any pictures of that.
I haven't either, but I have heard that there's archways and different things that.
So I really think this one needs more look into it. Because if there's doors and windows in it, then it's not a natural structure. So, I mean, I pretty much buy that the Bimini Road is not a road. It's just carved, wave carved. Because the blocks don't move. That's what I want to find out about this. Can they take the blocks out?
Yeah.
It's just really interesting. And
you know what's cool about RockWall too in Texas? The city's named after it. RockWall.
Yeah, the whole
Texas.
county is, isn't it?
And the county is as well. Yes, it's
it was 150 years ago when these well diggers found this.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And it's not that far from downtown Dallas. It's only like, 25 miles away, give or take?
Yeah. It's not that far. It's just a short drive to go out there and take a look at it.
Yeah.
From Dallas. I'd like to go see it. Just to say that I've been.
Yeah, that would be a little fun road trip. I say a little fun road trip. Dallas is how many hours away?
Oh, I'd love to take a week and visit some of these sites that we talk about. Just drive around and see them. I would be so exhausted afterward. I need to
go down there and find the Marfa lights. Watch the Marfa light. I'd like to go down and see the Marfa lights too.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
If I can ever get my knee feeling better, we need to go see the runestones.
Yes.
So. Need to get Pam get you one of those treaded wheelchairs that can go up and down the steps.
Drop it low.
Tank.
You know what would happen? I would tip it and go boom, 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 boom.
Unsafe at any speed.
Live it up to the name.
That is true. I mean, and look,
unfortunately,
they even stopped.
Yeah.
And my name's pretty true too. I am slightly confused most of the time.
And Jess is notebooks.
I'm just notebooks.
You're just notebooks.
You're the only organized one of us.
You are.
Kind of.
She's the glue that holds us together.
You're right, Julie. I would probably break my arm.
It's organized chaos is what it is.
Organized chaos.
That should be mine. Notebooks under organized chaos. Yep.
So let's talk about, RockWall, it's pretty much that, RockWall. There's all kinds of theories about it, but nobody has come up with anything concrete. It's just one of those things I'd really like to see them literally dig into more. How about, have you seen the stuff about Poverty Point, Louisiana?
I have not. I heard you say that earlier, and I was interested in that one.
Okay. It is a massive earthwork complex with concentric ridges and large mounds built in about 1700 to 1100 BC. It is accepted by archaeologists as being an ancient site, but it is so big and precise that researchers don't know what to make of it, and it really resembles a lot of European sites. So let me see if I can get a picture.
Yeah, it's a National Heritage Site. How cool. It's considered a mound?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Well, let me see if I can dig this up. I can't run the internet these days. It's terrible.
I can't run the internet most days, so.
Here we go. Here's a picture of it from the air. You see the ring, and so it's fairly good size. And I believe there's other structures adjacent to it. So here's some pictures from the ground level. It's a pretty big site, and see, it does not have a population estimate. But yeah, it's a big old mound. And they agree that it's ancient. I mean, and that's pretty ancient, 1700 BC. So that's almost 4,000 years old.
Yeah, that's neat. 402 acres.
Yeah.
The largest and most complex late archaic earthwork occupation and ceremonial site yet found in North America. That's a great find, Mark.
Yeah, Ian says it looks like an Iron Age hill fort. I mean,
a bit, yeah.
It you know, this is pre-Iron Age, but yeah, it could kind of look like that. How about Cahokia, Illinois? Have you guys seen that one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That one's cool. I want to go see it in person.
Our friend Ken lives not very far away from that.
Yeah, it's kind of a step pyramid looking thing.
It's a step pyramid. It's like you're looking at a Mayan, you know.
But it's earthwork.
But it's an earthwork one. It's really cool if you pull up a picture of it.
It's the largest pre-Columbian city north of Mexico. Monk's Mound, as it's called, rivals Egyptian pyramids in footprint. The population estimate was up to 40,000 people lived around it, and it raises a lot of questions about lost urban planning knowledge. We have lost Jess. Hopefully not forever.
She'll be back. She probably just stepped away for a second. Yeah, I'm pulling up to find a picture of that one.
I do have a picture of that one.
You do? Okay, cool.
Yeah, so I will share that. And
that one's the largest pre-Columbian site north of Mexico. Very cool.
Yeah. So it's pretty good size. It's a little misshapen now. I mean, after however long it's been there. Yeah, it looks like something you'd find in South America right now.
Enzo said she went to Monk's Mound.
Yeah. So now that brings up something else. You know, the LiDAR scans of the South American continent of the rainforest are showing the remains of roads and towns and cities that we had no idea are underneath the canopy.
Yeah.
So there was at one time, you know, a huge urbanized society living in the Amazon basin. We knew there was a lot there because there's a lot that we found, but then there's all these other unknown sites that they found with LiDAR. So, the technology that we have to find these is really amazing. Here's a picture from the ground level. And this does not show up well on here. It's just kind of a map of the site and shows
Nice.
Just a lot of the different things. It's so bad that I can't even read it on my computer. It just did not blow up well. So, there's a lot of sites in the United States. I believe Jess has found a lot of them that I didn't even pull up. She's the research queen, so.
She is.
There's so many just inside the continental U.S. It's insane. Every state has something.
Yeah.
If not multiple ones.
And we're going to go look at some intaglios this spring.
Yep.
If I can ever figure out how to run my drone, we'll try to get some footage.
Yeah, you definitely have to.
Maybe this weekend I'll charge up the batteries and I'll see if I can crash it. Fly it.
Don't crash it too hard. Not before you go.
It's got extra blades, so I might be all right.
That's good. That's telling that they send extra blades with it.
Yes,
It's pretty
I'm
smart.
going to need them.
Well, I'll tell you what, when we were in Fort Wayne, Indiana, we were at the Bell Mansion, and there were some guys that were there because we were there to shoot some footage for Keith Age's Bourbon Spirits. And the guys with him, the film crew, they took their drone outside and they were flying it around the building, and they crashed it in the wall, and it demolished it. So it's not just amateurs that crash expensive equipment like that. Sometimes the professionals do it too.
Yeah, I might have to just hire me a teenager to handle all this. I don't know.
My gosh.
Pam and I were having a discussion earlier about technology hating me now. We've been trying to set up some stuff, and I won't even get into it, but let's just say that
It's not having it with Mark for some reason.
Google hates me. It really does.
Google doesn't hate you. Google doesn't understand you.
Maybe that's it. I misunderstood because I'd have it send me a code and the text would come up on my phone, but there would be no code in it.
That's okay. Google can't stand me. I have not been able to open up anything new in Google in years because it keeps telling me that I already have Google open on a laptop or a phone or something like
Which
that.
makes no sense because you can have Google open on multiple devices.
I know,
Crazy.
but every time I try to, that's why I can't hardly move Google Docs over to you. It's because I can't sign into anything to get it shipped over. Because it's like, sorry.
Who did you piss off at Google? I must have pissed off the same guy because I don't know. Pam was able to request the code and it came right to my phone, but it didn't come. When I requested it, I just got
crazy.
A nothing burger.
I was like, hey, send me that code. And he's like, how did you get the code? I can't get the code. How did you get the code? And I was like, I pushed the button. I don't know.
You pushed the button.
I don't know.
Oh, no.
But we got it. We got it. We got it.
All right, we're in the weeds. What's next?
Well, we gotta talk about
Oh,
this.
that's interesting. Enzo said our group chats lately have been fragmented for me. Some people's chats come up as separate downloads that never load. Weird. Oh, you have one of those Android phones, don't you? You know what, Mark? That could be your problem. You have an Android, don't you?
Yeah, I can't use Google Messenger because it separates everybody on a group chat into a separate message string for each person. So I have to, when I respond to somebody, I've got to respond to everybody individually. So I'm
Yeah,
just
I
using
know.
Samsung Messenger.
Every time you answer the message I put out on the Paracon board page, whenever you answer, it pops up a secondary one.
Oh, that's weird.
On my phone.
Oh,
Is
we
that
hate-
why it did that? Wait a minute. I saw two different Paracon boards things. Is that what it's?
Yeah, because
It's
Mark messaged on it, so it split it in two.
weird. Huh.
Maybe I just need somebody to teach me how to use my technology. I used to be really good at this.
It's not you need to be taught. It's your Android phone because it's not compatible with Apple.
Yeah, and I won't buy an Apple, so
So we'll just have to learn to deal with it. So
we'll just have to learn
Yeah.
to deal with it. So.
Wild.
And here's one that we've talked about before, Serpent Mound, Ohio.
Yeah,
the
that's a
Serpent
cool
Mound.
one.
That
Yeah,
is
I
a
love
cool
that
one. And that one, I can't remember how old that is.
Pretty old.
I don't have an estimate. For some reason, nothing I've got pulled up on that has an estimate on how old it is. But it basically, if I remember what I watched a while back, the mouth of the serpent and the egg that it's trying to swallow points. What does it point to? I think the equinox, but like 12,000 years ago.
Yeah, it's it said construction it's debated, but it's either around 300 BC by the Adena culture or around 1100 AD by the Fort Ancient culture.
Mm-hmm.
So,
But recent radiocarbon dating actually suggests an earlier date. That's pretty cool.
yeah. Well, the theory is it was rebuilt along those times, somewhere along them, just like they rebuilt the Sphinx. You know, you can see all the repair work. It's interesting. It's very similar to the intaglio, serpent intaglio, up in central Kansas.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I believe, isn't it swallowing an egg?
Yes.
Yep.
Sure
it
is.
sure is.
That's quite a bit of distance between those two images. I don't have the serpent intaglio to show you, although we do want to. We're probably going to do a show on that trip when we make it.
Yeah.
Whether it's going to be on here or you guys' show.
Y'all better take tons and tons of video and pictures and stuff.
We're going to
We
strap
will.
you to the drone and have you fly over it.
Well, think of it this way, Pam. We're gonna go and do all of the dirty groundwork and getting to know everybody that we need to know, so that we can go back later on with you and show you
Okay.
around.
Good answer. Good answer.
Yeah. We're gonna do all the
Yeah,
dirty
I
work
thought
and
you were
figure
gonna
out what's
say
worth looking at.
And I was going to say, yeah, and I'm the kid that wanted to be an archaeologist when I grew up.
I did too. Didn't we all three? Did you want to be an archaeologist?
I wanted to
Absolutely
be
wanted to be.
an archaeologist, and so I'm old enough for this to have been pre-Indiana Jones.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought archaeology was cool as hell when I was a
I
small
did
kid.
too. You
And I
know,
couldn't decide whether I wanted to be an archaeologist or an astronaut.
we grew up.
Since I had bad eyes, I guess it's archaeology.
I looked into it when I went to college.
Yeah.
Couldn't afford it. Holy cow, they don't tell you that once you get out of the schooling part of it, the brunt of the education is on the field, you know.
Yeah.
But you don't
You don't get paid.
get paid, and you're going to these huge places. You have to have a somebody handing you that money, saying, "Hey, I will support you on this dig
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
you'll help me,
It's
do
not
this, and
sponsors. I
that."
can't remember what they call them. It's another word
Yeah.
for sponsor, though.
It's like a beneficiary type of situation. You have to know the right people. You have to be in the right circles.
You know, I'm down for that, Enzo. Enzo said Pam's going to be like Marlon Perkins in the old Wild Kingdom show. Let's watch Jim out in the field wrestle with the anaconda. I could totally do that. I could do that. I could sit in the air conditioned office and
And
be
just
like,
commentate on it.
turn around and look at the
I
TV
loved that
screen.
show as a
Let's watch
kid.
it. I did too. It was the
Are
best.
are you sure you don't want to be like Marty Stauffer in Wild America? Because he had a great beard.
He did. I have to work on that.
Oh my God, we are showing our age. You know how many Sundays I spent laying on the floor looking up at my TV watching?
It was right
Wild
around the time
America.
that Disney, the Sunday night, what was it called? Wonderful World. What was it
Wonderful
called?
World of Disney.
It was, wasn't it?
Mhm.
Yeah, it was right about it came on one after the other. So yeah.
Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom.
Mhm. Marty
So good.
Stauffer's Wild America. You see the bears in the background?
That
Funny.
sounds like a great introduction to spring break video.
Oh no.
Oh.
I mean,
Thanks.
it works. Wild America.
But no, I totally did. I wanted to be an archaeologist, and this is showing my age. Back in the day, you were either everybody thought if you were a girl, you were either going to grow up to be a nurse or a teacher.
Or a
That's
mom.
That's how old I am.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On that depressing note.
So from the golden years. No, I know. I was the first girl trumpet player at the Caney High School. And I had to fight my way into that position because my band director told me girls don't play brass instruments.
Mm.
Yeah.
That is it's just wrong.
That's okay. I made a bet. I made a bet with her. I told her, I was like, because at the time we were needing trumpets really badly. We'd lost a couple of them and we had a big field show coming up. And I told her, I was like, if I can learn the trumpet and the music for the field show in 2 weeks, you have to let me play. And I flippin' did it. It was one of the hardest things I ever did. You know how hard it is to get the aperture to play a trumpet? You have to have like all the strength back here in your throat to push that air through correctly.
I don't even know
To make a sound at all. My mom hated me. Thank God we lived out in rural Caney and I could be at the very back end of the pasture so she didn't have to listen to the caterwauling. It was
were all
terrible.
the cows over there staring at you. Like, what are you doing?
No, they were on the other side because they were like, we're out.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I was not.
So, yeah.
So, yeah.
I know. We come from the days when girls didn't do that kind of stuff.
Yep. We sure did. And look
All
at us now. Still not doing it.
Still not.
All right. You got any you wanted to talk about?
I think, we talked about the difference that every state has one. Jess, why don't you talk about the one that you found that was in our home state?
Oh, the Kansas one. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
I was so excited. So I'd never heard of this before and super excited about it. So this one, they call it the Ancient Fort, but it's not a fort. It's basically the design of it that's lending to kind of a fort situation. But this was found just outside of the city of Atchison, Kansas, which we've been to. It's really exciting. So what had happened is that back in the late 1800s, they were still kind of building Atchison up, and there is a hilly area just to the north of Atchison, literally just on the edge of town. And they had brought a gentleman in to come in and quarry that out so that they could have rock and stuff to build houses and, roads and things like that. And up there around Atchison, there is a very thick, solid layer of limestone all over the place. It's all limestone out there, with about 3 feet of like clay, gravelly dirt that sits on top of it. So he's got his crew out there, and they're digging off that first 3 feet layer of just crud to get down to the base layer so they could get it all cleaned off and then start their process of quarrying. And they're digging along and they find a sudden drop off. There is a sheer straight line of limestone that just cuts off. And they're like, oh my gosh, what is this? So he tells his crew, he says, just get in there and just keep digging. Let's see where this goes. And after they were done, it took them a couple weeks to do it. they found a huge section where the limestone had been perfectly cut out at straight angles and lines. It was 80 feet long, north to south, 60 feet wide, east to west, and 17 feet deep, perfectly cubed out into that thick limestone bed of rock. The only place that wasn't like that was in the southeast corner. There was a 4x4 area that had been cut out 2 feet deeper, and a natural spring was bubbling up through it. So the exciting thing about this is that this rock work that had been done was not something that was seen or has ever been seen again inside the U.S. It's something that's only seen, like I think they said, in the African type areas,
not
where
even
this is
South
done.
America. It's like quite a ways
Yeah.
away.
I believe that would be Ethiopia area.
Yeah. So, and the native tribes, even the oldest ones from our area, were not capable, as far as they knew, or even had the tooling skills that could allow them to dig 17 feet down in a limestone bed and create this perfect, like, cube. They said it's as if, so you just cut a perfect cube out and just lifted it up and out. Another interesting thing about it was, I was telling them backstage, I was really excited to hear about it. The gentleman who had come in to quarry, he had made note before this was even found that one section of this hill, at the base, it had so much loose rock and rubble, he couldn't figure out where it had come from. And then, of course, when they found this, he realized, as they were quarrying that out, to get rid of the rock, they had simply unloaded it up and out and had allowed it to roll down the hill into the creek beds that were at the bottom. So what they did, because they needed that up out of there, the town came in and took that rock and hauled it in, and that limestone that had been quarried out of there in God knows how long ago is now the basis for the roads that you drive on in Atchison.
That's so
Which
cool.
I thought was super neat. Holy cow. Unfortunately, the cube, the little fort thing that they said it was big, is no longer there. They came in long enough to take some pictures and stuff. Well, not even take pictures, really. I think they just drew it out and took their measurements and stuff.
Yeah.
And then it was quarried.
Which is
At
sad.
the whole top of that hill. Yeah, it's sad. They didn't have the thought to really dig into that. And I was telling them, I was like, I bet they didn't even consider the fact that all of that backfill dirt that had come
Probably had
out
stuff
of that
in it.
hole probably had all sorts of artifacts.
Oh, I'm
in it.
sure.
Yeah. And Lord knows where that was shipped off to. It might have been used as backfill dirt when people were building their homes. There may be all sorts of artifacts scattered throughout Atchison.
Yeah. Which
Now
is
that would explain a lot, actually.
why the whole town's haunted.
Why the whole town's haunted.
Maybe some prehistoric groups like, give us back our cube, our cube fort.
Or, yeah, it could have been a tomb. I don't know.
I don't know, but super cool. Apparently that spring is still there though.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I like
cool.
that. She was telling us about that backstage. I'd never heard of it. That was a great one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of the reasons why I love doing these, shows like this. I always learn something new when I'm researching. So,
There is all kinds of cool stuff out there, and
yeah.
people just don't know about it. And so much of it was swept under the wet rug, and it's just coming to light again. And then with all these new things popping up all over the world now archaeologically, a lot of people are going back and looking at these stories and saying, that's not so far-fetched. There might be something to this. And that's why we're talking about stuff like this, because of all these new discoveries, which we're going to get into on more shows. It's just mind-boggling what is coming out of the ground right now, and that they're actually admitting to.
Mhm.
Yep.
So
Tony put in the chat, or maybe it was it fill after the big flood. Maybe they could have used it for that too.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
'Cause that
I
boat's
do
a
have
long
one
time ago.
where somebody stepped in and kind of disassembled the whole, well, didn't disassemble the whole thing, but kind of covered it up. I found one. It's in Ironton, Ohio. It's a buried city. So it said the discovery of buried prehistoric implements considered to belong to older mound builders were found underground at a local farm in this Ironton, Ohio. This prehistoric layer was purportedly found far old. After they found the prehistoric layer, I can't even read my own writing. I'm just going to tell it. They dug down and found this like mound builder age, which is really old in itself. They found their implements and things. They dug down just a little bit further to see how far that layer went, and they hit a far, far older one. They dug out like half of this farm. They found roads. They found aqueducts. They found buildings. And it was in the strata that should have been from like 15, 20,000 years plus. And this, the stoneworks and stuff in it were just fantastic, like full working aqueducts and things like that. And they called people in to see this, to maybe see if they could get some help and get some archaeologists in to really start working through this. And suddenly the whole area was being backfilled back in again. Nothing ever came of it. It was announced, and then suddenly it was getting backfilled.
That's,
Huh.
well, there was that whole movement back in those days where we couldn't talk about anything that the Native Americans might have accomplished because it was so Eurocentric.
Yes.
Civilization didn't occur in America until the Europeans got here
Mm-hmm.
because the savages just weren't capable of doing that. And we've seen the evidence that, yes, they were not savages. They were just as civilized as the Europeans.
Couldn't call them savages if they had, these great civilizations. So
Right.
couldn't justify doing what they did to them.
But they weren't Christian. It's like when the Spanish burned every library that they found in South America. And at the time, I can't remember exactly how many thousands and thousands of pages of paper that the Native American civilizations were producing at the time. They had huge libraries of books on paper that the Spaniards just burnt because it was heathen trash.
That's crazy. Enzo said, when did they discover this thing in Ironton? He was actually born in Ironton, Ohio.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. He said it's on the southern tip of Ohio where Kentucky, Ohio, and West Virginia meet.
West Virginia to West Virginia.
1862.
So it's almost as old as Enzo.
Ooh.
Yeah, so
You're going to get hurt.
I thought, because the first one I found, it was a newspaper write-up. So you have to kind of take those with a grain of salt, because sometimes you find, it's just a crazy story that they, for paper sales. They wanted to get their paper sales up. However, this one spread all over the U.S., and it wasn't the same one just rewritten over and over again. It was actual, it made it to the New York. It was in the New York newspapers, and they were kind of writing up stuff on it because people were excited. The thought that they had found this crazy thing, and there might be archaeologists and stuff coming in to really take a look at this. And another interesting thing that I found was I didn't get to see the map. I couldn't find it anywhere, but supposedly the couple who owned the farm and the group that they had brought out with them to kind of help dig this out had been kind of making like a homemade map as they went so they could kind of lay out where stuff was.
Oh, wow.
And they had to stop because their property butted up to the Ohio River, and the Ohio River, they said, had taken over part of that city. They actually, they could see where the city would have gone into the river area. And of course we know that rivers move.
Yeah.
over time. So they said at
Right.
some point, they said the city had slipped underneath the river, but what they really meant was that the river had come over.
Cut into it.
Yeah. So if you were just going to come up with a cockamamie story about how I found a city underneath my farm, you wouldn't make mention that you had made a map because you had found that the Ohio River had come across this, this city, that thing that you'd found. There's no way that would be a part of the story. That
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
that's
just
just
there's
a
lots
little
of
too much
mound building
detail.
structures in
That
that
makes
Yeah.
good sense. I mean, that's what rivers do. They move.
They do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's just that there's
even-
lots of mound building structures in that area.
Yeah, there are.
yeah.
Yeah.
Which is what they were originally excavating in the first place. I mean, they got down through the mound areas and the original, Indian works and stuff that they would normally have found. Dug deeper as you do, because you want to find out how deep this layer goes. How long were they in the area? How long were they in this one little settlement? Only when they dug, they found something completely different. I just thought it was really neat.
And you would
That's a
find
pretty good one.
cities near rivers because you're looking for fresh water source.
Oh,
Oh yeah, all the
Yeah.
major cities we've been finding. The city outside of Arkansas City.
It was right along the Arkansas.
It's on.
Yes.
It has to be to support
Yeah.
that many people.
Yep. He said Ironton's about 75 miles southeast of the Serpent Mound.
So it's right in that same area. So, Enzo, we may have to
Cool.
take a trip. You may have to guide it.
What's next?
All right. Well, Mystery Hill. Have you seen that one in New Hampshire?
The Mystery Hill one is cool. That's
Stone
like Barry
chambers,
Fell's
standing
stomping
stones,
grounds
and
right there.
alignments. The French theories include Celtic or Phoenician builders, but archaeologists say it was probably of colonial era. Well, why? I mean,
No.
no.
It's full of Celtic ogum.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to talk about it a little bit because Mystery Hill is a favorite of mine. It's one of my favorite ones.
It's very cool.
I found Mystery Hill when I was researching the Anubis caves.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, Barry Fell had his hands in both. And he was using the ogum that he'd found on Mystery Hill to help solve the stuff he was finding in the Anubis caves.
Mhm.
Because there's so much Celtic writing. There's so much Bell stuff in Mystery Hill. It's just a really incredible place. And if you go and take a look at this area, that whole area is full of very Celtic style earthworks and stoneworks too. It's all over the place. There's so much of it that nearly everyone in the area can say they have something on their property. So the Mystery Hill is in North Salem, New Hampshire, by the way. And they call it America's Stonehenge. Because
Yeah.
there is a section that looks like Stonehenge. But Mystery Hill itself, the site, contains 13 stone chambers, several enclosures, niches, stone walls, stone-lined drains, small grooves and basins, and other features covering about 1 acre at the very top of the summit. But if you go past that, so extending out past that one little 1 acre area that has so much stuff on it, there is more stone walls, more niches, standing stones, and 2 procession ways that have been built in. And along the perimeter are 4 confirmed astronomical alignments, and below the summit on the slopes of the hill area is a 14th chamber, 2 utilized natural caves, spring stone walls, and stone cairns, more niches, standing stones, and lots of other features. In total, the site covers about 105 acres, and it is completely full of Celtic writings and inscriptions and ogum and everything else. The carbon-14 dates the structures having been built originally around 7,000 years ago and actively used until about 200 years ago. So more than just that original group was using it. More people came in and were using it for their own stuff. Who built it and why, of course, as Mark said, has been an ongoing debate. The settlers to the area, of course, assumed it was Native American tribes. And unfortunately, they destroyed over 50% of it. We don't know what all used to be there
Yeah.
because they would go in and take stone from it to make their own buildings, unfortunately. There was a gentleman named William Goodwin. He was the very first investigator of the site, and he thought it was built by Irish monks around 1000 AD. Hugh O'Neill Hinken, curator for the Harvard Peabody Museum, argued that it wasn't old at all, that it was built by Jonathan Patee, who was the first one to own the property in 1825. Why would he do that?
That's crazy.
No, and it wouldn't look ancient. It would look
Yeah.
fairly new at that point.
Well,
It would.
not to mention, I went and looked it up. Do you want to know how long he owned the property? He owned it from 1825 until 1849. Do you think that's long enough to put in all that stuff?
No.
Just his little old lonesome?
No.
And then to age it appropriately.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then, of course, Berryfell argued that the site was built between 800 and 600 BC by the Celts, which is the only thing that actually makes sense. But of course, there are things in there that were built later on by other groups and like Indian tribes and stuff like that, which is quite obvious which ones.
It's got the
belong to.
sacrificial table and all that stuff.
so
It's got like 5 of them.
we've
Yeah.
already had multiple groups prove that our ancient ancestors were perfectly capable of seafaring. Recently, I don't remember when exactly it was, a bunch of Polynesians built a reproduction canoe like their ancestors would have used and navigated hundreds of miles, without fancy equipment or anything.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that far-fetched. And considering that, I wouldn't be surprised anything from anybody anywhere. I really think a lot of these scientists throw stuff out just because they don't want to.
Well, if it doesn't fit their narrative,
They don't want to try to think about it.
yeah. They want their way
Move.
to be the right way. And if it doesn't fit their narrative, then
It doesn't have to be a civilization. It could have been one group of people trying to get away from something.
Mhm. There was some really cool
Exploring.
Yeah,
stuff
all
in
the
there.
time.
I
We
had
need
go
to
pull
get
my
away.
book because I knew there was some stuff in there.
Let's
Yeah.
go until we find land over here, and
Let's
our
explore
own
because
place.
that's what people love to do. We love to find something new. And you're existing in a way that, you're always looking for new resources. The person with the most resources has the most leverage.
Yeah. and a lot of groups throughout history have just up and left. Why couldn't they have come here?
Mhm.
I mean,
Yeah, it's a pretty large landmass. You're going to run into it eventually.
yeah, you're going to run into it eventually.
Especially if they never came back. What if
Yeah.
they did come here and
They didn't get lost at sea. They found something.
exactly, and they colonized and they just didn't send anybody back or whatever.
Yep.
They were
They
like,
probably-
screw Greenland, it's cold there. We're going to stay here.
And they probably intermarried with the natives
Right.
and just
Mhm.
disappeared into the genetic soup.
Yeah,
Yep.
and that did happen, and there's proof of that in the DNA,
Yeah.
especially in the tribe, the Indian tribes that are up in the New York area. There's absolute proof of it up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Well,
found.
I've got proof of it in mine.
Yeah,
They
you did.
found,
Yeah,
the Blackfeet Indian did not come over the land bridge like everybody else did. They came out of the Polynesian island areas and down and then traveled up through the South America from the bottom all the way up through.
Yep.
And we're marrying and having babies all the way. And because of that, I have I'm 50% Celtic and I'm 35% American Indian. And besides a little smattering of other little things in there, I'm 1% Yucatan.
interesting. That's
There you
interesting.
go.
Because one of my ancestors traveled up through and when
Picked him up a
partying
little
all
wife.
the way. Yeah, had a little party all the way
Woohoo!
away.
Funny.
I mean,
Oh my
that really is what drives, and I don't get why they want to deny it so much. It's really the human creature, the human animal. We travel everywhere. I mean, when we got to the New World, when the Europeans got to the New World, they found people here.
Mhm.
They found civilization here.
Absolutely.
They destroyed it, but they found it.
Took advantage of the hospitality.
I mean, it happens. It's what we do.
Mhm.
I would not be surprised if we ever develop space travel to find out we came here from someplace else, or we went someplace else and started over. Wouldn't surprise me in the slightest.
Jess, she said that your ancestors partied all the way. Enzo said it does get lonely traveling the continent on foot.
I'm sure that's true.
And Sylvain's here, so hey, Sylvain.
Hi, Sylvain. Yeah,
That's
so
hilarious.
many. A good example of like far traveling groups and stuff. We should bring up the stone tables that are found all over the U.S. The dolmens. So you find them all over the place. There's a whole bunch of them on the East Coast, where they would be if people were traveling over. They would be hanging out on the coast. So dolmens, or these stone tables, are literally these megalithic sized boulders setting on these little spindly rock legs. They look impossible. There's usually 3 to 5 legs on each one of them, and some of the stones are kind of flat, so they look kind of like a table, but most of them are big mounded, they're literal boulders. And they know how they did it because they've tested the dirt and stuff around them. What they did was that they would dig out, or they would build up dirt works, put the 4 legs down in nice and tight and straight up, and then they would move the boulder on top and then dig the dirt back out from underneath of them, leaving them standing. But these are not prevalent in this area whatsoever.
Yeah.
They were never made here by any of the local Indian tribes or anything like that. They were literally brought over from Europe and the Middle East. That's where those originate from. So you see them dotting the coasts, and it's because long, long ago, before the actual settlers came in, these groups were coming in going, oh, cool, let's leave our mark here. So instead of writing, Mike was here in the bathroom stall, they left their stone table behind.
They have found copper from America,
Yeah.
all over Europe and Asia, from mines here in America before they were supposed to be civilizations here.
Yep. They sure have.
So,
A lot of stuff like that.
and they can even narrow it down to the exact region it came from. And in a couple of cases, the exact, within a mile or so.
Yeah. Yeah. Because of the composition of the
mineral composition.
Yeah. Yep.
So it just boggles my mind of people dragging their feet about it, because there's just so much evidence. And then there's human nature. Human nature is just, we like to travel.
Mm-hmm.
We don't like where we're at. People do it today. It's a lot easier now because you can throw everything in the car and go.
Yeah.
But they were doing it hundreds of thousands of years ago. I mean, they walked out of Africa. They walked out of Asia.
They moved elephants over.
They moved elephants over.
That was the kind of ships they could build, that they could move massive amounts of elephants. So don't tell me that they were all like, I hope I can make it in my tiny canoe.
That's what we were taught, growing up was
well,
they
in
didn't have
Egypt,
the ability.
in ancient Egypt, those ships that they found buried, those would have been perfectly seaworthy enough to cross the Atlantic.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even if they worked as a coaster all the way up through the north and then came over, but they were perfectly capable of crossing the Atlantic in those ships.
Yep. Sure were.
Why not? And then don't get me started on the whole Atlantis thing, but
Oh, let's not go there today.
no, let's not go there today, but we are going to go
You'll
there.
get Enzo started. You'll get Enzo started, and
Then we'll be here until 2 a.m. when I've got to go to work. I can get up in an hour and go to work. We don't want that.
No.
Anyway, it's just such a fascinating. It's just such a fascinating subject. I mean, and you're right. There are tons of. We could talk about this.
I have pages and pages and pages more, so we might have to do like a part 2.
We have plenty of fodder for all of this.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean, and well, you guys saw my list of stuff, the history stuff that I found.
Mhm.
It's just crazy. I mean, let's see some of these other sites. Well, there's the mound builder stuff all over the Midwest and Southeast U.S. Yeah.
Enzo said his GPS would probably drive him straight to it. Yeah. It did
Yeah.
a really good job in Geneseo last year.
Yeah.
Lord. Enzo and I's
Your
like,
honesty.
trip out into rural America was wondering if we were going to hear like a banjo in the distance. and
You guys
Bigfoot was
talk
going to
about,
hop out and
You got a pretty mouth.
God, you guys talk. You hear us talk about synchronicities and strange things that happen. Just tell that story because that was a pretty good one.
That was that whole weekend. It was the last year, the weekend of July 4th. We were speaking at the Geneseo Kansas UFO Day Festival.
Yep.
And all sorts of weird stuff had been happening. And that day we were giving a panel talk about just local Kansas UFOs and things like that. And the gentleman who, I mean, we've discussed him on here before, that runs this, Jim Gray, mentioned the earthwork in Taglio that was right nearby.
Yeah.
And we're all like, say what?
Yeah. None of us.
And yeah, none of us had heard of this before. And in fact, we were like, my grandfather was a Kansas historian and never heard of this before, which is very odd. And none of them had heard of it. And we were like, tell us more about it. And he was telling us all about it. And he's like, it's literally just right near us here. And then started mentioning some of the other intaglios across Kansas. We found out there are several.
That was a weird trip home as we
galore.
were Googling this on the way home.
Very well. So we're weirded out by the fact that we've never heard of this. I'm feeling completely incompetent and trying desperately to think back if my grandfather had ever mentioned these. I know he would have. And the festival ends and we break up for the day and we're kind of splitting up who we're going with because we had to bring multiple vehicles. And I decided to hop in with Enzo in his truck and head out. And when you leave Geneseo, it's all on the side of one little highway. So you can go to the right or so you can go to the left. And Pam and Mark went one way and Enzo and I went the other way. And he goes, well, my GPS is showing this is the best way to go. So I was like, I don't care, just go. We were exhausted. It had been a very long day.
It was hot.
And his GPS took us out into the weeds. We were out in very rural Kansas. If you're not from the area, rural Kansas is red dirt roads and that are almost single lane in some places, and a lot of fencing and cattle and pasture land and wheat fields as far as the eye can see. And the one paved road that we were on abruptly ended because a whole bridge was out. They were working on it. No detour sign. It was just like, road ends here, sucker. Bye. Good luck. So we are jagging off, trying to follow the UPS because it keeps trying to redirect us. At one point, I think like we weren't even on a road that was on GPS. And I'm thinking Pam and Mark are wondering where the heck we are, but I can't contact them because we don't have enough bars for me to let them know that we are lost.
That's never good.
Yeah, I don't know how we ended up doing it. We finally made it back around this bridge area and made it back to that little road that we were on, and we came in like the backside of Hutchison, exhausted. I think it took us like an extra 45 minutes out of our way or something like that.
Yeah, we were wondering
Mark
where the
and-
hell you guys were at.
Yeah, Mark and Pam were concerned.
Well,
They were like, did the
we
aliens
stopped.
take you?
Didn't we stop by the store or something and got back and they still weren't there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we're like,
So-
they're totally going to beat us.
Yeah. The synchronicity of this all. So we're on the trip home the next day, and I'm hurriedly looking up all the information on these intaglios I've never heard about, and I'm starting to find other information that we have never heard, and I'm like, every 2 minutes I was like, guys, you're not going to believe this, and I would call it out.
It was a wild trip home.
Yeah. But the more interesting thing is I believe it was the night before,
Yeah.
I think it was Enzo that looked it up.
Yep.
He looked up Google Earth to see where the intaglio was and found out we drove right past it
Yeah.
out
Oh,
in
that-
that
out of the-
rural. For some reason, Enzo's GPS chose to take us on that particular trip, wiggled us around and took us out past the intaglio that an hour before we did not know existed. So weird.
It was very weird. It's very cool, though.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it's not an above ground intaglio. It's not a earth mound intaglio. It's a dugout intaglio with different types of grass planted into it so that it looks different from the grass around it. And so there's no way we would have known that it was there unless you took us straight out to it.
Yeah.
But we literally drove past it. It was just, and that was just one of the synchronicities of that weekend.
That's pretty
That
cool.
was a
one,
weird
though.
weekend. It was a weird weekend.
It
That
was
was
a
a
weird
weird
weekend. It was a good weekend, but it was weird.
It was fun. It was a great weekend.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was really strange.
Yeah.
Very
But here pretty soon, Jim's supposed to be taking some of us back out there to hopefully go and see that intaglio and some of the other. There's some other crazy stuff going on around Geneseo that he's
yeah,
promised
there's
to take us out to.
several village sites and whatnot.
That
So,
was pretty cool stuff.
fun and super weird all at the same time.
It was.
Yeah, it really was.
Somebody
There's a bunch of stuff around Wichita too.
would have gone out in I believe it was the 80s, wasn't it? And had filled it in with lime and took a
Overhead shot.
picture of it, overhead picture, and it looks really cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's just the amount of stuff that people don't hear about. Everybody hears about all these ancient civilizations and stuff in Europe and Asia and whatnot, and they only want to talk about that, about the cradle of civilization, which they're actually thinking may be someplace else now where civilization started.
Mm-hmm.
And all this stuff they're finding in Turkey. Nobody wants to talk, still even wants to talk about stuff in North and South America. And there is just so much there. Nope.
I just grabbed a picture of it to show. Yeah, that's it.
There it
it's
is.
a serpent and it's swallowing an egg.
Hmm
Mhm.
Very much like the
Well, look at that old Chevy truck.
yeah.
Yeah.
And you can see the guy standing next to the egg really gives the idea of how big this is.
Yeah.
It's really
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
And the
There's
grass
supposed to
grows
be
in the middle
some
of
near
that is different.
is it Kaw Lake? I believe there's supposed to have been 4 around it, and they're like,
In Call Lake, Oklahoma?
oh no, not Kaw Lake. Then it's one of the lakes here in Kansas.
Oh, I
It
know.
had like insects and birds intaglios around it. Some
Yeah.
of which are gone now because the lake ate them. But
Yes, you're
Yeah.
right. I can't remember which lake it is.
yeah,
It's
which
not-
I have never heard of. I've never had the lady balls to ask my mother if she knew about them, because then it would be obvious that I just never heard my grandfather talk about them. But it would also then make me wonder if like Mandela was coming into effect,
Yeah.
and it's something from this line.
And so,
Right.
so
Not the
that was
previous one
very
I was in.
weird. That was very weird. My GPS doesn't necessarily take me where I want to go, but always where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah. It was strange. Even
was.
Enzo and I during the trip, we were just like, we're so out in the weeds. We hope the aliens don't come and pick us up. We were joking about stuff like that, and then to find out there was some weirdness kind of at play.
At least
know,
you didn't have any missing time that you know of.
Well, I wouldn't know because like I don't even know what time it was when we left, so I wouldn't know.
I'm not sure.
We
But
were
I
so
do
tired that day.
Yeah, it was.
Working those festivals, even the small festivals,
And it was
is a
so
lot of.
hot. It was July 3rd, I believe, and it was so freaking hot.
It was a pretty hot day.
Yeah,
It was hot, and it was raining in the morning. Remember, I was doing the chalk drawings in the rain,
And then it got so humid.
and then it
Yeah.
got humid, and we were the only speakers that year, so we were carrying all the panels and stuff like that. It was just, I not complaining because it's super fun.
It is.
I'm always honored
Really
that they
fun.
ask us to come back year after year.
yes.
I'm excited for this year's. I'm actually going to be able to be home for the 4th
Yeah.
because it's going to be the week before.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
Because
if
it's the 250th anniversary this year.
Yes. If anybody's interested in going to the Kansas UFO Day Festival, it's in Geneseo, Kansas, and it'll be the last weekend of June
Yes.
this year, 2026.
Yeah.
So swing by and say hey to us because I'm sure we'll be sweating it out.
Absolutely.
And we like it when people come by to tell us hi. And
Yeah,
so
I
people have
met
stacks
someone
filled on.
that I went to school with that I had not seen in 40 years. So,
That's
I mean,
cool.
that was pretty awesome.
That's cool.
So, yep. Well, I don't have. Well, I do have a lot more.
I do too. Maybe we should
Yeah,
do a
too much
part 2.
You want to do a part 2 next time?
Absolutely.
Let's do a part 2 because I have a whole bunch more research I would love to share, and I'd hate to think that I spent all weekend working on it and we only got to like touch a page.
So yeah, let's do that. Why don't we each? I mean, you've got a ton of stuff. Why don't we each take a facet of it? We'll figure that out, and maybe
Yeah, we could totally do
maybe
that.
do some more deeper dive stuff. In general, this is just a super fascinating subject, and we could probably talk about a separate one every 5 minutes and still not run out.
Oh, for sure.
Um,
And the fun part is we know so many, and there's so many more we don't know out there.
yeah,
I
we're
love it.
all the time finding something new. Wow, I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So much
Very
great stuff. So like, where's my? I don't know where my books went. Oh, they're there. I was gonna say, like, I have a pile of them, but I'm not gonna show them all. But like, my favorite ones, if you are interested in this topic, America BC by Barry Fell.
It's a great one.
Freaking
I
fantastic.
have that one too.
Forbidden Archaeology. Look how thick that sucker is.
Yeah.
Love this book. Oh my gosh, fantastic. And you might think it might be a little like farcical or like fantasy like, but it's totally not. The Mound Builders, Edgar Casey's Forgotten Record of Ancient America. So it's based on kind of what he was like foretelling of the past and stuff, but they go into great detail in the research that was done on his descriptions to see how truthful or not they were. And a lot of his stuff was pretty dead on. And because of some of his things, they found things they didn't know were there because he was like, hey, you should look there. And they found some stuff. It's a really fantastic deep dive, especially if you're interested in the Kentucky area. Ooh, Kentucky stuff out the wazoo.
That's cool.
Great stuff. Yeah. So
Yeah.
those 3 books, most definitely.
That was, yeah.
Yeah, and I want to do another deep dive in on the ancient annals of Kentucky.
Yeah, we've got to
Oh,
hit
yeah.
it. That's a
And
great
it's not even that big of a document.
Was
See
it
if I
40 pages or something like that? or 98 pages, maybe. It's not huge.
He's going to the shelves.
Woohoo!
I'm going to the shelves. Let's see.
It's the super skinny one.
It is super skinny hardback, and it's so skinny that I cannot find it. But yeah, it's only like about that thick,
Yeah.
but it's just chocked full of all kinds of weirdness. Oh,
There it is.
Very cool.
super thin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is available on Amazon. It is literally basically the PDF that
Oh, it sure is.
of the original printed in a hardback copy for you. So
Yeah.
it's kind of
And
cool.
In fact, if you come back for our part 2, I have lots of stuff that's from that Kentucky book in that Kentucky area, the megalithic walls and stuff that they found there. Kentucky is steeped in it. If you want to talk about people coming over and living in places that have actually already been built up, there was an entire city that the Cherokee refused to live in because they said that it once belonged to the white, blonde-haired, blue-eyed giants that lived there. And when the settlers came into the area, they built on top of those.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a full-fledged city already built there when the settlers came in. That the Indians refused to live in. They were actually saying, we did not build these. We would not live there if you paid us money.
Yeah.
So that right there shows you that there were other people here long before.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's just silly to think that people don't travel. People do travel. People do explore. That's what people do.
That's what people do.
And then they talk about all these mass migrations and migrations around the world, and then think, well, they couldn't have gone here, but there's people there, so somebody went there.
Yep.
It just boggles the mind. You know, the I mean,
Now, it's like we were saying, like that's slowly getting eaten away at. We've got enough
Yeah.
younger scientists and archaeologists and historians coming up into
and
the
the
ranks.
geologists are really pushing it.
Yeah, that are quite willing to like take a step back and really look at the information that's in front of them and go,
Yeah.
that doesn't work there. This is older than what you're saying. And
Well,
we're starting
and
to push that line back a little
You
bit.
don't
by
have
little bit.
that generation trying to hammer it into a preconceived notion from religious texts.
Yeah, that's very true.
So, I mean, I get it, but I mean, facts is facts.
Well, and these people have not spent their entire lives basing their studies and their egos and everything on this one fact they've been pounding in for years.
Yeah.
That might throw waste to everything they think they've ever done. They've got these younger people coming up
Till their
now that don't
tenure.
have that.
Yeah, they don't
Yeah.
want to lose their tenure. They don't want to lose their grant money.
Yeah, and well, they're still alive. They want whatever they published to be pertinent. And
Yes.
if somebody disproves their stuff while they're still alive, that's a slap in the face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like, oh, I made a mistake.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I would
did that.
be more impressed if you came out and said, you know what, I was basing this on this, but this has come out, and so I believe I may have been wrong.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen though.
And that's when you hop on the bandwagon and start going that way and seeing what you can help out, finding out that way. But they never think ahead like that. They never think, oh, I could have a whole new path and new stuff to research and find.
That's the sad part is how big the egos are
In academia, yeah.
in academia. Yeah, because
Some of the dumbest people I've ever met had the most education.
Mhm.
Yep.
I'm
Which is, like why we're always like, prove us wrong. If you have better information than we do, we want to hear it. If you're gonna take us down a different path, let's do this.
Hey,
I have
I
no
admit
problem.
make
know.
mistakes all the time.
Yeah, we want to know. Just
because-
because we haven't run across it doesn't mean the
Yeah,
path that we did find is the only one or the right one.
yeah. I would listen to
why
the most.
That's why I try to bring up, some people think it's this, some people think it's this. I think it might be this, but it could be this or this.
Yeah.
I mean,
I will listen to the most cockamamie, ridiculous sounding hypothesis or theory you can bring to me,
Yeah.
because there was a time when all the stuff that we were looking into I thought was ridiculous.
Mhm.
So
Right.
I will not poo-poo anybody's idea of what they think it might be. If you think you've got some pertinent information and some like facts or some good theories that's going to help stand that point up, bring it on, baby. I want to hear all about it, because
it just makes the conversation more lively, I think.
Absolutely.
it does, and it expands your mind, and you never know if that person might have a good point or if their theory is right, and we've just never considered
Or what they're
that
thinking
direction.
may send us down a whole new rabbit hole of stuff that we didn't even consider, which I love.
I have had people give me an idea trying to convince me of their idea that gave me a whole new idea that wasn't related to either one of them.
Mhm.
So, I mean, that's the beauty of having an actual conversation about these things, is that you can speculate, you can spitball, and sometimes you come across a little gem.
It's very true.
So, it is. So, we're going to have a part 2 in 2 weeks.
Yay!
I'm
Yay!
excited.
I will love
Too.
part 2.
Jess.
Do a little dance.
Well, she's doing the happy dance. So, well, I mean,
It's a fun topic.
It
I have
is.
so much on it.
It's so
I wish that our viewers, we're going to have to start recording. I wish our viewers could watch us every time we play the intro or the outro. We're sitting here going like this.
Bobbing our heads.
I
I don't know. This topic is exciting for me, at least. I can't say for these two, but it's exciting for me because it kind of conjoins all of these loves that I have. I love history, I love archaeology, and I love fringe stuff, and it's all three at the same time.
yeah.
Exactly, and that we're
We're
going
all
to do
like,
a lot of these this year, along with the normal shows that we normally do. But I really want to get back into this. It's just so freaking cool.
It is.
It
It's
is
the best.
fun.
I'll never forget when we found the Annals of Kentucky and we were all like just freaking out behind this.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, we got together and actually had physical meetings about this one. And yeah, look at this. Look at this.
And
Yeah.
it's so tiny. It's just so chock full of
Yeah. Yeah. It's so very cool.
weirdness. And this
Yeah.
guy, he wasn't just some bozo. He was a freaking state senator.
Yeah. Yeah. He was, yeah.
Mhm.
He
You know.
wasn't some old farmer dude. He was
He
actual.
was an educated dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will say, though, don't forget that a part of that is redacted. There's a section of the Annals of Kentucky's we've never seen.
There is. And I'd
But
love
they-
to know what it says.
They pulled it out after the first edition went out because it was not something they wanted out. What the hell is in that part?
No.
Yeah,
So
If we
they
could
said
find
very
a first
funny behind-
edition somewhere.
yeah. If somebody comes across that, I want that.
Mhm. For
Mhm.
sure. Sylvain said a very funny behind the scene. You have no idea.
You have no idea. Yeah. We're kind of nuts though.
Oh my gosh. Talk about rabbit holes. Ooh,
Oh, we do it. We do it all the time.
we do.
So, all right, guys. Well, we'll wrap it up and plan on a part 2 in 2 weeks. Next week, Phil and I believe, are going to be doing an update episode on conspiracy theories that have come true.
Ooh. Ooh,
That sounds
that
fun.
sounds good.
On
Yeah.
What If Tomorrow. So, which is kind of fringy, but it's not because, it's been proven true or admitted to. So we're going to do that. And what are you guys going to talk about on Bordertown Strange?
Strange.
So, not this Wednesday, but next Wednesday, 7 p.m. Central, we're going to have Enzo on, and hopefully Mark will join us because
Yes.
we're going to be talking about Rendlesham.
Yes.
Oh, well, color me interested. I will be on.
Yes. The Rendlesham incident, and Enzo is going to kind of go off into the weeds too. There's a lot of outside stuff that occurred along with that. It was kind of a high strangeness type of thing. He's going to talk a little bit about MK Ultra and some other stuff, so join us for that one. That one's going to be cool.
Yeah, it'd be a very cool one.
Mm-hmm.
So Julie says on what, Mark? It's going to be What If Tomorrow. It's the parent podcast to this one. It used to be they were both all crammed together. What If Tomorrow, which is mostly preparedness and news. And then, of course, the Fringe is fringy stuff. But when we first started out, it was just a big old sandwich of fun. So,
It was a Dagwood.
yeah,
If I can remember, or Pam, if you remember to do it, on next Monday, we'll share it over onto the Bordertown Strange page.
Yes. Yeah. That's
While
a
you guys are going live, and then everybody can watch it.
yeah.
Yeah.
I will put up a link to our online business card, and it's got a link to both of our catalogs. There may be, especially when we first started,
Oh God.
it was terrible, but we did a lot of stuff. We did like the Library of Alexandria and Atlantis and all the fun stuff, which we've revisited briefly here and there. We've never redone the shows, which we probably ought to redo some of those because they were.
Jess joined first, and then I don't know, a month or two later, I joined, and y'all, deer in headlights, were like, what do we do?
Well, I was there for quite a bit longer because originally, What If Tomorrow was not on air live. It
Oh,
was
that's
just
true.
a recording. We used to, or
Re-record.
Phil and Mark used to record it in Phil's attic, which
Yeah.
is where Phil still does his from. But now they just do it live on YouTube, and then it goes out to the podcasting platforms afterwards.
Right.
But there was a time when it was just us huddled around our microphones
Yeah.
in
staring at each
Phil's
other.
really hot basement. We had to stop talking because his dogs would bark.
Yeah, and we had to edit because it was just madness. Now
Yeah.
we're totally unfiltered and unedited.
We just go for it now.
Yeah.
Like not a lot of room, and here's me with my notebooks, like, eh. It was terrible.
But it was fun too. I mean, it's been a
was.
pretty good ride. I mean, is that 2000?
5 years now, right? What If Tomorrow?
Yeah, it was. Was it
Or is it
2020?
longer? No, Fringe is 5 years, so it's longer for What If Tomorrow,
Mhm. Yeah.
because
Yeah.
we split Fringe off 5 years ago. That's crazy.
Yeah.
'Cause Strange is on year 3.
So I've got 78 episodes of On the Fringe. Today, this is the 79th episode of On the Fringe.
Wow.
And we have 132 episodes of What If Tomorrow.
There's 51 episodes out right now of Strange.
So we've been doing this a while.
Yeah.
Doesn't
Let's
seem like
go.
it's been that long. It's crazy.
So
Yes,
yeah,
many
it
more
doesn't-
years to come.
Yes, hopefully.
Chris said 2019, Mark.
2019. Okay, it would have been August, I believe, is when we started that.
So 7 years for
what-
Fringe.
Was
Or
it
for What If
2019?
Tomorrow. Wow.
I remember when Mark told us that him and Phil were planning to start doing it. We were like, good luck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll never do
We're like,
that.
sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now look at us all.
And they pestered us for how many years before we actually
Yeah.
A couple, yeah.
It's his fault.
It
It's
is.
his
It is
fault
my
that
fault.
we're all doing
I
this.
got all hooked
He
on it.
sucked us in. Yep.
Well,
He baited us in with Fringe.
in my defense, we had talked about doing a podcast prior to that. We just had never done it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were like, oh, that, someday.
It would be fun.
Yeah.
Paranormal funk.
And yeah, paranormal funk. I wish I would have recorded that little blurb I did.
I did record it. I have
She's
it.
got it.
recorded.
We'll
Welcome
have
to another
we'll
episode
play
of
that next week.
Paranormal Funk.
That's what we should have put in the blooper reel for the 50th.
Oh yeah.
Well, we'll do another one. The next 50,
Okay.
we'll do another one. Just remind me to put that in there because it's hilarious.
Yeah.
So I'm like, this
yeah.
is what we can say, and I put on my radio voice and said it, and then said something else, and then got cracked. I got cracked up with myself.
We all got to going on that one. It was pretty bad. So yes,
Fun
and
stuff.
thus my audio and video equipment addiction that I've developed. Some of you may have noticed who's watching that I am a little more crystal clear than I have been. I did indeed invest in more camera equipment.
Yay!
Yay.
It's really cool though. I mean, check this out.
We're all getting up there. I'm getting ready to get a new setup too. So,
It follows me.
ooh,
No, fancy, right?
fancy, high tech.
Wow.
Yeah, way more,
Just-
way much more camera than I needed. But it's got really good. It's got a really good picture. So
It does. It's
It's
got
all
a great picture. And your setup on your wall behind you is fabulous. Looks fantastic.
oh, I'm glad you like it.
It
glad
does.
you like
Looks great.
You don't have nearly enough junk.
I mean, if you look at the other part of this
Really
room that
long
you
enough
can't see
hallway.
from the camera, I mean, I have plenty of junk.
No.
I'm below my.
You don't have
below
nearly
my
enough
desk,
junk.
so- I don't have that much junk. No.
Or a hallway
Just
with
art
couches.
supplies.
Yeah.
I mean,
Tiny Tim lives down
At the
Pam's
end of my
hallway.
hall.
the part you can see is my podcast studio. The part you can't is my wife's scrapbook studio.
Sweet.
So I have.
He's surrounded by paper and stickers and glue.
And
Glitter. It's just
glitter
glitter.
everywhere.
well, there could be some glitter in here. I'm not going to lie. So
Julie said she wants to know what everything is behind Jess.
What
that'll
everything
be a
is.
show on its own.
Yeah.
So does Jess.
I don't know. There's some paint and an old cookie jar that's got a glove imprint thingy on it, and some signs and there's a planchette.
Chris says that I have to share with her because she has the most junk. And Enzo says that you have both nicks and knacks.
I do, sir. Thank you. Yes. I have both the nicks and the knacks. And some other things I don't know the names for.
And some patty wax.
Yep. Doodads and flummery and whatnots and
Ephemera.
Lord knows what else.
Gimcracks.
And other junk.
Yeah.
I think somebody was asking for a tour of my studio on Strange last week.
Yeah.
And I don't know quite how that would happen, but I don't know. Maybe one of these days I'll take some photos
Yeah.
that we
that's
can
what we're
post
talking about.
on
You know,
something.
I don't think she knows what's in her studio.
It's pretty crazy. If I wasn't like, my laptop kind of has to sit where it is because I've got cords coming in from everywhere. But if I could turn it for you, you would be frightened. So we're not going to do that because you guys might call Adult Protective Services and be like,
We have
call
a crazy
them on
lady.
mic because the crazy lady is living in her hovel and she needs help. It's pretty bad.
She will definitely take pictures of it sometime. It's very cool in there. It
It
is.
was very cool.
there's-
It's very scary.
Well, yeah, there's so much to see.
Yeah.
There's a lot. I don't know if I can.
Yeah.
And do like that. I can turn it just a little. There's It's kind of crazy. But anyway,
Yay.
yep. I do a little bit like that. Like I said, I've got like cords everywhere. If I turn it too far, like stuff will spark and then I'll like bleep out of existence.
This
Yeah.
weekend, I am going to spend almost a whole day doing wire management on my
Oh
setup.
boy.
Oh, I spent about $100 on cable management stuff, and we'll see if it helps or if it just
Sounds
makes it worse.
delightful.
Yeah, it's bad. I mean, I have to watch my feet because I keep unplugging my audio panel.
That's
I managed to get through the whole episode today without doing that, but like the last 3, I've managed to unplug it and had to turn it off, go around, and hook everything back up, and get back on like
like nothing happened.
nothing happened.
Dude, one me.
You see you see this or whatever. I don't even know what I'm doing.
Enzo said, "What kind of OSHA violation are you living in, Jess?"
It's not good.
I mean,
Like,
there's several of
yeah.
those going on.
Like I'm living in a sea of I don't know what. I know there's chemicals and stuff. I know there's lead in here.
Mm.
As long as you're not chewing on the paint chips.
Yeah, just don't
Oh.
eat it. You're fine.
I'd have paint chips. I've just got straight on lead. I just use it to chew on once in a while while I'm nervous or thinking.
All right, well that explains a lot.
Yeah.
That's how
Sometimes
she.
I just
That's how she sharpens-
sometimes I just yeah, I rub it into my face a little bit.
Oh, that's what I
Just
do with
kinda-
mercury.
Oh,
Nice.
yeah. Well, you can play with it. You're like, woo, it's fun.
Yeah.
Y'all save me, please. I can't. I can't
On
speak.
that note, we are going to let you all go. Have a wonderful week.
You're not crazy.
Come back and see us in 2 weeks. Stop by and see Phil and I where we talk about true conspiracy theories.
Mhm.
And join us to talk about Rendlesham.
Yeah.
Cool.
Rendlesham. It's gonna be fun.
Yes, it'll be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be a good one.
All right, guys.
Do a lot of on that
Yeah.
show.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.